Hey all, and what I'm going to do in this video is have a go at the dragon egg to start with, then afterwards I will talk more about the pet feature, since it's quite a complicated feature of the game. So some of you are probably in the same situation as I am. You have a decent pet with a decent battle rating, but it's running out of life, so hopefully this video will help a bit regarding that. Pets are really useful. They give a huge increase to battle rating, making various aspects of the game a lot easier, but they do die eventually if you're not careful. Anyway, let's move on to the dragon egg. I did 100 smashes and this is what I got. So there we go, that's what I got from the dragon egg. You can see here, I actually got 3 of the relic card, Helm of Invisibility, which is pretty good going. Plus, these origin items, Mount Orbs, Holy Essences as well, all really useful items that are difficult to get elsewhere. So I think Dragon Egg is probably one of the best ways to spend money on this game if you are going to. You get a lot of decent items, or you can just save up your hammers. You get a few from the events occasionally. I'll just go on to the quests, claim these as well. So you can see here on the events page, the login reward gives 2, 3 and 1 hammer, which I've already claimed today. If you are going to do this without spending money, I recommend trying to save up until you have at least 100. You normally get a relic card if you use around 100 smashes. You don't need to go all the way up to 500 normally to get a relic card. But anyway, I think this is probably my favourite spending event in the game, and what I'd recommend spending on if you are going to spend money. So now let's talk through the pet feature. I have 3 pets. This is the maximum you can have for a VIP 0 player. My main and most powerful one is the Wheat Guardian, you can see here, but its life is kind of getting low on the pet. So do not click release on a pet that you want to keep. If you release a pet, it's permanent. You can't get the pet back, unfortunately, unless you capture another one. So now onto the refining page. You do have to be a bit careful here. If you refine a pet, all its stats change and its level here resets to level 1. So do be careful here. The whole point of doing this is if you have a new pet, refine it repeatedly to get the stats as skills you want. then save it, then you can start working on the pet. The items needed for this can be obtained from the pet trial. You can see here refining crystals and small fairy potions. So ideally I am waiting until I have a mutant pet before I start using refining crystals. What I'll do is when I have the mutant pet, I will refine it repeatedly until I have optimal sort of stats. Then what I'll do is inherit. I'll use my weak guardian, then inherit the stats on the new pet. That costs a lot of amethyst, you can see here, but I think it would be worth doing once I have a mutant pet. Otherwise, I will be leveling it up from level 1 again, which will take forever. Now the summon page, I've only had a few of these horns. You can get them from events though, and this is where you use them if you do manage to get any. So regarding the horn items, sometimes these are available in the events. There's not any available currently though, unfortunately. I had a quick look. Quite a few events currently up, but no horns, unfortunately. There's also this Labour Day Carnival as well currently up, which has a few nice items available here. Anyway, let's continue with this. Moving on to the assist feature. This is probably the most important part to be aware of. The first thing you can do is put weaker pets on your heroes like this, and that will give you a bit more battle rating, but it is basically fake battle rating, so to speak. Then you can put your main pet on your main hero. You can see the battle rating increase is pretty significant from doing that. I only ever use my pet in areas where I can't really complete it without the pet. At all other times I keep the pet unequipped, and that's what I recommend doing. If this number here reaches 0, then your pet is dead basically. So what you want to do is use your pet as minimally as possible, ideally. Then the inherit feature, we've already talked a little bit about this. Your stats basically carry across to a certain extent. You can see the level, but it costs a huge amount of amethyst, so do be careful here if you are going to do that. The final feature is the consume pet feature. You can see here you can use items that you don't really need anymore to level this up. I don't recommend using too many items here though. If you need items elsewhere, I don't recommend using them here. As such, mine is still level 0, so I can't really talk too much about that. So I have been asked, how do you get multiple pets? And that's actually quite easy. If you go across the maps, sometimes pets spawn in the various areas. For example, if I go to this area, then up here, there's a pet here that I could try and capture. With the purple fruit item, you can see here it's only 5% though, so you're going to need to use a lot of items to capture the pet. However, you can also get life potions from doing this, which will increase the life of your pet. They're quite hard to get, these life potions, so yeah, it's worth using your items here. Ideally, you want to wait until some sort of mutant pet spawns, but those are so incredibly rare that you might not ever see one. But let's give a few of these a go anyway, just to show you what sort of items I get from this. It does take a bit of time. Remember, it's only 5% to capture the pet. Normally you get these fairy potions from trying this, but let's try a few more anyway. Right, so that gave another fairy potion. You can see I'm speeding this up a bit just because it's taking a long time to do this. I'll skip ahead until I get something decent. But there we go, I managed to get a refining crystal that time. Something a bit different to a fairy potion. 5 fairy potions that time. That wasn't too bad actually. That's probably the most you can get, I would have thought. Oh, there we go. There's a life potion finally. That took a lot of fruit items though. But now you can see here, I can use the potion here and that gives me a nice plus 50 there. So yeah, it does eventually drop a life potion. You will eventually get the pet as well, but 5% is really low. You do have the yellow item and red item as well, but these are only normally available from events and are quite difficult to get for that reason. So finally you can actually get the life potions from the Homestead Home Trade feature, but they are rather rare. They do occasionally come up here though. I'll have a quick look to see if one has spawned or not. Probably not. Let's see what we have today. That's not a bad deal. I'll probably go for that one out of the home trades for today's trade. Yeah, there's no life potion today, but they do appear here. It's worth checking if your pet is very close to dying. You might get a potion, and it's also normally the potion here. Well, it's a fruit, isn't it? Not a potion, but yeah, you know what I'm talking about. The Fruit of World Tree gives plus 200. Another 200 battles with the pet. The pet's life goes down by 1 every time you fight a battle with it, so that's something to bear in mind as well. If you're doing a lot of easy battles with the pet equipped, you're basically wasting its life. But anyway, that's the end of this video. I hope that was interesting and helpful. The pet feature is quite difficult to get to grips with. It's quite complicated, but hopefully this helps. Plus also, having a bit of fun with the dragon egg was always nice. I got quite a few decent items from that. If you did enjoy this video, please do give it a like and subscribe to the channel. Subscribing is very much appreciated. I do have a previous video on the screen, plus a playlist, plus you can also subscribe from here if you want to do so. And thanks for watching.